We're here today for the Grenache series in the Clare Valley. I know, Clare Valley Grenache, people don't know enough about it. So we're here at Kilikanoon. Now, they're professing that they are the home of Grenache in the Clare Valley. Come with me, let's go check it out. All right, so where have you snuck me into?
So this is our revelation room. This is our private tasting room for our wine club, the Governor Club members.
So like the VIPs?
Sure.
Yeah, and me. And VIPs and me, yeah. And well, we're having a bit of a...
I want to show you some really interesting things. So
more of your babies?
they are
How many Grenaches you got?
4.
4.
And then a couple of GSMs.
No, I'll include them in the class. So,
Oh, well, it'll be
yeah.
6.
6? Right. That'd make a good 6-pack.
Indeed, it
Wouldn't
does.
it? Wouldn't it?
Indeed, it does.
All right, so what are we cracking into?
The first thing I want to show you is our Kx Grenache. So Kx is our experimental label. So this is where we really push the boundaries on things.
Right, this is something you get to play with in the winery.
All bets are off.
Right.
So this is
Like a project one.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yep. This is 100% whole bunch Grenache from out the front of the winery.
Righto. Geez, it looks different. Almost looks like juice. Maybe grape juice.
Unfined, unfiltered, raw expression of the grape.
Wow. On the nose. Nothing but fruit. That's all I can smell.
It's bright. It's almost bubblegummy.
Bubblegummy. That's not a very wine-making term, is it? Bubblegummy. So you're actually right. Are you not going to wait for me? No. All right. Cheers. I'm just going to have a bit more before I pass judgment.
So very much our Nouveau style, 100% whole bunch. Once again, really worked. Only plunged to extract the real essence of the variety itself. Barreled down to 300 litre French oak hogsheads, purely just left to mature for 8 months. Pulled back into tank and bottled young and fresh.
Yeah, so this is a definite drink now.
Drink now style wine. It's a great crowd pleaser wine. It's big, it's bright, it's bold, it's vibrant. It's got a lovely crunchy acidity to it.
Crunchy. Now that is a term that fits it well. And you know what it is? Different.
It is.
It's very different. And I'm going to have to grab some because I want to pull this out at a party where I know people love their Grenache and say, "Oi, try this."
Yeah.
Because it's totally different. And it's very easy drinking.
It's so easy drinking.
When I looked at it, I went, "Oh, this is going to be quite thick and quite..." Yeah, but it wasn't like that at all.
No.
It was smooth, lots of flavour. A little bit more tannin at the back because obviously it is so fresh, but I'll tell you what, that was totally different once again.
Yep.
And this is your style, this is what you're...
It's about reaching out and bringing the passion of Grenache, that flavour intensity of Grenache, to the modern drinker. Something different. It's not heralding back to the traditional Rhone style or the fortified style of old. It's new, it's out there.
Yeah, modern
Styles.
for the kids. Well, not the kids, but the young, the young folk.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't they drink that?
It's delightful.
It's light, easy to drink, and I know he's just done marketing proud again, snuck in just enough tannin to want another taste. And the first taste I had, I was like, oh, I better have a little bit more. So it wasn't. It was what it looked like to compare to what it tasted like was totally different. So I love the idea of it. I love the project wine idea as well, and something totally different once again.
And it's a full body red that you could easily approach in a summer wine, a spring summer wine. Sit outside, lovely barbecue.
Speaking of that, what's your thoughts on that? Because I'm a big one for in summer, putting the Grenache in the fridge.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, chilling it down, not serving it chilled, but putting it out for a little bit, a beer or maybe 2, and then cracking it and having it at the room temperature. Because if it's been in the room temperature too long, it needs to be chilled a little bit and then brought back, doesn't it?
Yes. These are, while they're still full-bodied wines, they are delicate wines.
Yeah.
So taking that slight edge off the term European climate, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay.
The room temperature of European climate. Just taking that slight edge off, it just evolves the wine in the glass so much nicer.
Right. I'm not sure I like that.
Would you like to taste it
yeah,
again?
I want to have a little bit more because we're going to have what food pairing we got with it. So, what have you prepared for us food-wise?
We're not too far from the ocean. We are inland a bit, but chili prawns.
What?
Chili prawns. It's a right juxtaposition. Things that shouldn't go together. This project wine seems to bring that harmoniously together. And just the warmth of the savoury, the salty, but the fruit of the wine.
Yeah, right. You sold me.
Get
you
into
sold
it.
Me, you sold me already.
Get into it.
All right. I'm just going to take the best looking one, of course. Excellent. So, obviously, while you watch me eat again, what about, so obviously real small batch or?
It is very small batch. This is actually done in picking bins. We make it in the bins it's picked into. So it doesn't even see a tank.
So how much of it?
Very small batch, 2 picking bins.
Really?
Kilikanoon Kx. Kx is the Kilikanoon experiment. Small batch wines, single vineyard wines. They reflect where they're from with a new idea, a modern twist.
And can you only get it from the cellar door
You can
or
only get
online
this from the
or?
cellar door and in part of our Covenant Club Wine Club.
Oh, of course. The VIPs get the access to it.
Yes, they do.
Wow. You're not the first person to pair Grenache with seafood. And I actually thought I would never have thought that they would match so well. But they actually match perfectly, don't they? Especially the project lighter, easy to drink, crispy style of Grenache with seafood. And it'll blow up. There will be comments, I've never thought of having Grenache with seafood, but I think it's a perfect pairing, especially if you live right next to the beach. And yeah, an absolute cracking wine. Well done, mate.
The whole bunch of acidity just brings a different layer into the wine, and that acidity just cuts through the saltiness and the brine of the seafood. It's really nice.
Yeah, no, it does work perfectly. Have a little sample, and I'll tell the punters once again that all they need to do is throw out a comment. Maybe they could jump online and purchase some of your amazing Grenaches and try it with some seafood. You know, maybe a photo or something like that might sway us for them to be one of the winners of the competition.
For sure.
And yeah, tell you what, wasn't a bad chili prawn either. Once again, the Watermark. Outdoing themselves, aren't they?
Nicola at the water barrel.
Oh, no. Oh, Watermark, I shouldn't say that, should I? That's the old Lenny's. But we'll plug them as much as we can because what an amazing job they've done on the food. And this wine, well done, mate.
Salute.
Yeah, love it. All right, so we're obviously in the VIP room.
Yep.
Yeah. And packed cellar door. Must be Friday afternoon or something. But I'll tell you what, we've had the project wine, and now we're onto the GSM masterclass. Yeah.
Yep.
And you've talked this up a fair bit.
I have.
And I don't know how you're going to outdo the wines you've already produced, but let's have a crack. So we've got
Our Killerman's Run GSM.
Killerman's Run.
So
Is that after the vineyard or?
it's actually a story back to our founder, whose childhood home we're sitting in.
Really?
Yep.
So this cellar door, was it there?
Yes, it was
When was
there.
it built?
A long time ago.
Right, about the 1890s?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, right. I just made that up. But, yeah. Anyway, so this was their house?
Yes.
Yeah.
And up the valley, there was a man who lived off the land, and he would hunt rabbits. And so he was nicknamed Mr. Killerman. And
Right.
so we've named this wine in his honour of a man who used to live off the land. So it's Killerman's Run GSM.
That's a great story. Tell me about it.
So GSMs are all about being food
Well,
wines.
for the absolute layman, or owner of a winery that forgot, Grenache,
Grenache is the predominant variety.
Shiraz,
Shiraz is number 2.
and,
Mataro.
oh, not Merlot, Mataro?
Mourvedre if you prefer.
Mourvedre?
Yep.
Well, that's the same thing, isn't it? Depending on where you are.
True.
But what percentages are you changing year in, year out, depending on
do.
the vintage?
Yeah.
Or
I'm a big believer in making the best possible wine each year.
Righto.
So that is reflected in not only the season, but then in turn the grapes.
Yeah, but similar?
It will be similar. So,
So what is it roughly?
it'll be around about that 60% Grenache,
Yeah.
10% Mataro, and then the Shiraz balances everything else out.
Yeah, righto.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's have a crack at this one.
Sure.
And look, we can actually test the colour a little bit better now. It's still, it's reasonably dark. Obviously, it's got the Shiraz and Mataro to give it that darker colour, but Oh, smells, to me, it smells like a lolly. It's just that aromatic. I want to dive. Actually, stuff it. Let's go.
I love how the nose mimics the palate.
Oh.
So on the nose, I get that red berry forest fruits, but that essence of bay leaf underneath it, which then just seems to sit on the palate.
Oh, I struggle with this. I struggle with this, the smell of spice and the bay leaf. I know it's a winemaking too, but where does that come from? Where
It's purely from...
is it? So I'm smelling it straight away,
Yep.
and red berries straight away, and the fruit, and it just. I'll tell you what, it was an aromatic. It made me want to drink it straight away, but I can't. Where does the bay? Is that after?
It's a layering underneath, and I suppose it's almost like perfume. It's the weight of the aroma and that spice that lies underneath.
Hang on, a weight of the aroma.
Yeah.
Now you've lost me here. You've lost me. All right. But the taste.
But you have to admit that spice, that soft, light spice,
I can taste
lingers
it.
on
I can taste
yeah.
it at the end of the palate, but I can't smell it. I'm not that good at it. Let's be honest, I'm not that good at it. But I'll tell you what, I can definitely taste it. And as soon as you said bay leaf, I went, yeah, I can definitely taste that. But cracking wine. And what's the price point of this wine?
This is our introductory sort of level, and we've made it to make it's a real crowd-pleasing wine.
Yeah.
So this is around the $20 mark, so it's in that price point.
What?
It is absolute value for money wine.
$20.
$22, yep.
That's like chucking under your arm and running out the cellar door with it for free, isn't it?
Don't quite do that.
Well,
but
no, well, I might, but the people shouldn't. But that's an exceptional price for the. And I don't know how many GSMs there are in the Clare Valley.
Not many.
Not that many, but Shiraz and Mataro grows. There's a lot of Mataro grown in the Clare Valley.
No, there's not. There
So
is.
are you that fruit's grown here, or are you actually sourcing that fruit elsewhere?
It's in our own vineyard,
Yeah.
and it all falls into this blend.
So here's a question for you. I haven't asked you. Is it all your own fruit,
We
or do you have some growers?
we do have some
local
growers.
Yeah.
So there's about 12 local families we use, and
Right.
they're part of the
supporting
family.
the local community as well. Yeah.
And they've been with us for a long time.
Oh, so you get first pick.
We do.
Yeah, best price first pick because they've been with you forever.
They have.
Yeah, and no doubt you're looking after them as well.
We do.
Which is important to keep that going, isn't
They're
it?
very much part of the family.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that, the way the community all works together. And Clare Valley's renowned for it, isn't it?
It is.
Using as much as you can of the local produce, helping each other out. And tell you what, it's a cracking GSM.
Yep.
And this is the entry level.
Yes.
I love the rabbit too. It's a great label. All right, so pairing wise, and I've been looking forward to the cheese pairing. So what are we going to have?
Well, the GSM heralds back to the Rhone Valley in France,
right.
the traditional blend. So
Okay.
we thought we'd bring you some of our favourite European cheeses.
Yeah.
So
and
we
we've
have
got
a passoire from France.
a what?
A passoire.
Passoire.
A tagliatelle.
How did I go?
Yeah,
Passoire?
no, you nailed it.
Not bad. All right.
A
So
ta-
a creamy.
it is quite creamy, rich, more pungent style.
Now you scared me. All right. Give us a little sample. And obviously we've the local pubs looked after us again.
They've helped us out.
They've helped us. Oh, are these yours?
We actually do have our own cheeses. We go and find our cheeses. Yep.
Yeah, they actually match the wines.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and we can get this at the cellar door. What sort of offering is there for? Well, I'm coming to the cellar door.
Yep.
Is there any food offering with it?
Not at the moment. We
No?
do it seasonally, so we do events throughout the year where we'll use local chefs with local produce. We
Right.
love to champion the Clare Valley.
Awesome.
It's a unique small valley,
don't
and
worry, we'll
we
cut
have
that
great
in.
stuff.
All right, so the French cheese and the GSM.
Correct.
You're not going to have any?
I will,
Yeah,
definitely.
all right. I thought you didn't like it or something. Whoops. All right, so talk about any awards for this.
This one
Yeah?
is, for its price point, has scored in the 90s consecutively with multiple wine writers.
A $22 wine in the 90s.
Yes, sir.
We're very, very spoiled, aren't we? Tell you what, that's a very nice cheese as well. You threw me at pungent. Oh, hang on. There it is.
Too big?
Don't like it. No.
Okay. Maybe a Spanish Manchego will be more your speed.
Yeah, no, look, it'll give me a bit of that apple. I'm going to cleanse the palate. That just ruins your amazing wine. Maybe your wine's too good for that.
Possibly. That is a problem we encounter a lot.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Or maybe it's me, just not having the palate that goes with it. But no, that ruined your amazing wine. Actually, I'm never having that cheese again. I'm over it. What about yourself?
I enjoy the saltiness of it and the juxtaposition of the wine to the cheese.
I don't like the aftertaste of the cheese.
Too.
No, I don't. I actually like blue cheese,
Okay.
but only with fortified. You got to match it, right? All right. Let's. I'm going to say exactly what I'm thinking, which is unusual. That was a shit pairing.
Okay.
All right. You could have picked a way better pairing than that. A cheese just killed off your amazing wine. Don't do that with anyone else.
Okay.
Let's crack on to your bad pairing, cracking wine.
Cool.
All right.
Okay.
Actually, don't pair anything with this.
No.
No, don't even worry about it. The wine doesn't need anything.
Fair enough.
All right. Let's go on to.
This is something I'm very proud to show you.
I know you've been talking it up all day, haven't you?
It's unreleased.
Hang on. Another Australian Wine Weekly first.
Correct. You're the first one outside the...
Usually I just bullshit making that up, but actually today we've actually got two firsts on the show.
This is our 2019 Baudinet GSM.
Again?
2019
Yeah.
Baudinet GSM.
Boy,
Baudinet is a single vineyard, a high altitude vineyard here in the Clare.
Yep. So that's the name of the vineyard?
Correct.
Yep.
Yep.
Do we know the origin of the name, or is it someone's family?
One of the shareholders that invested in Kilikanoon from the very beginning, we've named it after him for his support.
Awesome. Right. I love the little quirks about the names behind things. And I love to ask that question because I know the viewers are thinking about it as well. Tell me about the awards.
Last year at the IWSC, International Wine Spirits Competition,
And that's
one of the serious
that
competitions
is, yeah.
of the year. We won.
one I don't get invited to usually, but
Unfortunately.
anyway, soon.
Heavily judged by Masters of Wine.
So for people who don't know, Masters of Wine, so that's obviously the top
tier.
echelon of the judges.
Yes, the
Yep.
people that are very well respected with the finest palates, global
Probably enjoyed
organisation.
that cheese that I didn't, yeah. But anyway,
Perhaps.
so they're judging this wine against all the wines
Yes.
in the world, or this was in Australia?
So it gets judged against the whole world,
Yeah.
but then the awards are handed out by nation.
Righto.
So not only did we win best red wine from Clare, we got the best blend and the best red wine from Australia.
Hang on. The best red,
Red wine
When
of
was this?
Australia last year.
And it hasn't been released yet.
No,
So I'm going to drink it before.
everyone else.
I'm going to come back here, I reckon. Cheers to you. It's actually very different on the nose, isn't it? I can't smell like the first one. The fruit really popped. This one is a bit more savoury.
It's almost got that bacon rind with herbs lingering behind it.
Stop reading the tasting notes. Bacon rind.
Bacon rind.
I would not have described it as that, but now you've mentioned it, I'm waiting to taste the bacon. I'm actually scared to pair this with anything.
I wouldn't.
We're not going to. Oh, yeah. What have you prepared?
The flow of this wine is so soft and subtle. It needs to be paired with gentle foods.
Yeah, righto.
So that's where we'll probably just stick with the breads and maybe a little bit of the manchego.
The what?
The manchego, Spanish cheese.
Spanish cheese. So is it a bitey cheese, or I'm thinking of a way to describe it. It's more of a mild. It's not pungent, is it?
No.
Lucky. Right, let's have a crack at it anyway. We're going to go bread.
Yeah, I reckon
Righto.
the bread's the way to go.
Yeah.
And then just grab a piece and break it off,
All right. Serve myself?
please. Oh, yeah.
No, well, I don't want yours after you touch that.
The shepherd's cheese.
Yeah, and you got to talk about price point of this. Obviously, it's a cracking wine.
It's a cracking wine. It's possibly one of my favourite wines at the moment. The texture, the flow, it's velvety, the whole palate through.
Velvety. That's good. That's a good description. I asked you what the price was.
$55
What?
for one of the best wines in Australia.
No, the best
The
red
best.
wine in Australia. So the Masters of Wine thought,
Yeah.
What do you reckon the big boys thought about that? Did you get any phone calls?
No.
Did you get any phone? Come and make wine for us? Or?
There's people wanting a lot of people contacting us wanting some.
Yeah, no doubt.
But it's such a prestigious large competition. All the big companies play in it.
When's it going to be released?
Hopefully towards the end of the year, but we'll wait and see.
What are we waiting for?
The right time.
The right time, right? And how much of it is there?
Not a lot. So
No?
being from that high altitude vineyard, it's a small production once again.
Yeah.
But it is our absolute top tier.
Right, that's a bit cool. Absolute top tier. People could win it though, couldn't they?
They sure can.
A decent comment and they can grab themselves a bottle. And join the wine club. They'd be first in, wouldn't they?
They would definitely be looked upon favourably.
Yeah, and can they taste it at the cellar door?
The 2018, which won gold medals at the IWSC,
Oh, so they can get the 2018 still.
that's
Yeah,
released,
there's still some stock of that left.
which is currently at Cellar Door
Yeah, and online.
and online.
What about restaurants around in Adelaide or
Some of the finest restaurants support Kilikanoon, and
Yeah.
we're very proud to be part of that.
you want to name drop one? Right.
No.
I should have given you some pre-warning, really. What about some of the independent hosts? If I want to go down to my local bottle shop and
No, this one is very much part of the Kilikanoon stable and here and online.
So this is join the club,
That's it.
come out here and have a taste.
Indeed.
And how will we know that it's going to be released? Like, look, people are going to be asking, especially if they win a bottle and they share it, and other people are going to be saying, "How do we get this wine?"
Either join
Join
the club
yeah.
or follow us on Instagram. I'm sure we'll be posting very heavily once this comes for a launch.
I'm sure you will. So Instagram, any other socials that we're involved in?
Instagram, Facebook, the works. We're all there.
The works. What else? Twitter?
Yes, we have a Twitter.
Twitter? I love Twitter, especially now Elon Musk bought it. What about LinkedIn?
We do have a Kilikanoon LinkedIn.
Yeah, there's people, every social they should follow you and tag and share everything they can to help people out. Comes around, goes around. And we're really big on that. So I reckon let's plug the socials.
Sure.
And to win it, they've got to follow you.
They do.
And I'll check. If they don't follow you, that's great because then I get to keep it. But if they don't follow you, they don't win. All right. So the deal is follow.
Yep.
A good comment, usually complimenting the host helps, or the winemaker.
It wouldn't hurt.
Or what actually wins? A decent question. A decent question, and then I'll give you a message because I won't know the answer. I'll give you a message and say, "Can you answer the question?"
Sure.
Yeah. Emily probably won't be able to do it either, so we'll have to get you to do it. We'll answer that question, and then you and I will have a chat, and we'll pick the winners.
Sounds great.
All right. So everyone thinks it's rigged. It's not. Well, not that often. But we'll get you to help. And then what I'd like you guys to do too is when people ask the question, the more you jump on there and answer it back, the further it gets spread.
Happy to.
Yeah. So the algorithm loves your replies.
Yep.
Okay. We'll tag you in it. We'll share it. People will share it everywhere because they're going to want this amazing wine.
Making wine is great, but sharing wine is the best part of the
Isn't
job.
it? That's what I love about wine.
Yep.
And you know what I love about wine too? Because I've got the best job in the world. I get to get these amazing wines, and then I get, no matter who they are, they come, they talk about their amazing wines. I've always got something better. Try this. Oh, I love these GSM. It's from the Barossa. Have you tried a Clare Valley one?
Yeah. Once again, the cool climate Clare Valley just shines through. That softness, that richness, it's all there.
The people, it's a beautiful part of the world too, isn't it?
It is.
People need to get out here and visit. There's lots of accommodation. I've noticed that. There's accommodation everywhere. There's the trail.
It is.
They call it the Riesling Trail. We might have to rename it the Grenache Trail. And they can travel around, visit all the wineries, come here, get the awesome cellar door experience. Mate, I've had an absolute ball. And I'm not going anywhere here. I'm going to hang around today.
Got a bottle to go.
Cheers. "60-second wine tasting, Kilikanoon, go."
Nathan, welcome to Kilikanoon Cellar Door. I really want to show this being a day of firsts. It's our Ashton Mataro. The vintage 2020, 100-year-old in that vintage.
100 or 102?
101 in 2020. 100 in 2020.
Righto. It's 102.
Now it's 102.
Oh, very, very dark. Very dark. On the nose? Oh, it's dreamy. What is that? What is that? Come on,
mate.
60 seconds.
It's red berries, it's white pepper, it's...
Oh, white pepper.
Yeah.
Cheers.
And it mimics on the palate. It's juicy, it's juby, it's blue
Oh, it's
fruit.
juicy.
It's
See you later.
When your heart is racing, racing at